Howdy y'all and welcome to Lax Lives. I'm Lakander and this is Lack Plays Feed the Beast Monster. Alright, so um last time we did the IC2 miner, I almost called it a monster. We did this IC2 miner and I hooked it up to a couple generators to get it charged up because a million EU is terrible. And and then it charged up the drill and it started digging. And it dug a few things. There was some iron in here. I had to take it out. Um, but one of the things that I am currently lacking is a good source of fuel. Now, I planted all these trees over here, and I can go cut them down and turn them into charcoal. You saw me doing that. Or maybe you didn't see me doing that. No, you did see me doing that last time. And I had to chop down trees for an hour. You know what I don't want to do, though? Is chop down trees for an hour. So I go with my old standby. This is one of my favorite ways to get fuel at the beginning of the game. And Steve's carts, right? I already did a video on making Steve's carts. It hasn't changed between the versions. All the recipes were the same. I built the woodcutter. You had to use, the 5 diamonds and all that. And it's mostly just gold and iron. And down in my basement workshop here. I had to put these on top of my house because while nothing is supposed to spawn on these, and I couldn't put torches down, but I could make some fences hover over the slabs. Stupid spider with a creeper riding on it spawned on top of the house, jumped down, and exploded and took out the corner of my house. But I built the Steve's cart assembler and all the stuff that goes with that, and the bits and pieces for the Steve's cart, right? So, not a big deal. Things I've done before. But one of the new things in Monster with these, well, not just Monster, but the updated thermal expansion and buildcraft don't play well together anymore. And I read it has something to do with coding that was changed in buildcraft, and thermal expansion didn't want to change their coding, so they just went ahead and made their own system. And so I'd like to try and use the thermal expansion. All right, let's be honest. I already used the thermal expansion to do this. I filmed for an hour last night trying to figure this out. An hour. And I thought, hey, I'll just piece it together into my next monster episode. You know what? I got 8 minutes of video with sound at the end after I stopped recording, figured some stuff out, started recording, finished off the episode. But the 50 minutes I recorded when I started the episode had 4 minutes of sound. I don't know what happened, but that's not just a little bit annoying. That's a lot annoying. Uh, well, I guess it's not really that annoying. I don't mind redoing the little part of the episode here. And it's much easier if I can get this done in the 30-minute-ish segment I normally try to do. And, I'd much rather have an episode that's just filmed from beginning to end without me having to cut it up into little pieces. It's easier that way. But you can see right here in the middle of my poor tree farm here, I have got a huge, oh, and of course now it's gone. Huge hole in the ground, right? Just a huge hole in the ground. And there's a reason for it. Now the trees, they go on either side of the tracks, and so, I want to try to keep as small a profile on the side of the tracks as I can. I need to throw something away. You know what? How if I just eat this loaf of bread and that'll do it? Man, I think I'm out of food. Am I out of food? I am. I need to go get me some food. All right. Now I need a piece of dirt here for the moment. So, actually a piece of dirt there might help too. So this is what's going on. I got my Steve's carts down. I've got my cargo managers. Once again, you could probably get away with one cargo manager. I'm sure it's possible, but it might not be possible actually. I don't know. I'd have to figure that out sometime. But I like to use two just because it's easier. Now my old way was a cargo manager and then Buildcraft pipe pumping out and then Buildcraft cobble pipes feeding into a furnace, and then the furnace turns it into charcoal. Charcoal gets pumped out, it goes up over into a barrel and over here to the cargo manager. And so you can see I'm trying something different. I've just got my cargo managers directly across from each other. And so what I'm going to do is in the middle of these, I'm going to drop a redstone furnace. Now, I had some problems with this last night. It was pretty funny, and it's why it took me so long to film. I forgot the redstone furnace has sides, right? And so when I put down the redstone furnace, I put it down facing toward me now. And then on the right hand output, I had it sending out to the right, which was this cargo manager. So this is the one that's receiving the wood. This is the one that's, what color is that? Green. This is the one that's going to be outputting to the engine, the charcoal. And so every log that went in here just output as charcoal into the cargo manager. Well, then I ran some pipes off the front of this, and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get charcoal to travel through the pipes. And that's because I was trying to pull charcoal out of a side that doesn't output. And it took me like 20 minutes at least to realize what was going on. I tore it down, put it back together, tore it down, put it back together, changing pipes, building new stuff. None of it was working, and it was just driving me crazy. Now, with this system though, I need something to power this redstone furnace. This is new. I normally use the iron furnace because it doesn't require any outside influence, but this time I wanted to try with the redstone furnace, and oh, that's the wrong engine. Where's my dynamo? There it is. So I'm going to use a steam dynamo on here because a steam dynamo can be powered by charcoal. Simple as that. But to use a steam dynamo, I have to have a water source. So I went ahead and dug a hole down here. It's a little deeper than I need it to be. I wasn't exactly sure how this was going to play out. And but I did go ahead and make the water, or the aqueous accumulator. And you can see full of water. And then I've got my fluid duct. And I've made all this before. There we go. So now fluid ducts, so now water will be flowing into my dynamo. You can see it's already full. And if you want to see the recipes for these, I guess, redstone furnace is just oh, this is one of the updates that happened in I don't know if it's 1.08 or 1.09 for Monster, but they changed the like copper ingots are now copper gears, and so like the copper gears are really? I don't think I made them this way last night. Copper gears are stone gears with copper around them. I swear I used just copper, four copper with an iron ingot in the middle. I might not have. I don't know. It was last night. It was a long time ago. And then I also made, where's my aqueous accumulator? I know you're in here. There you are. And then this one uses the 10 gears now instead of the 10 ingots. So just be aware that if you go to make this stuff, if you go to make this stuff, it has changed and it now requires more materials. So I know the pulverizer is one of the first things that I like to make, and I need to charge my jetpack here. That's not where you charge your jetpack, and you have to take it off. Why don't you go in there? You charge my jetpack. I'm gonna sleep and make it daytime. Because let me tell you, monsters are annoying. Oh, the raptors are in the game. I figured they must be. I looked around for them the other day and I couldn't find any anywhere, and I thought that was weird because they were spawning so much last version of Monster, and this time around they aren't spawning as much. All right, let's look at the recipes while it's charging. So Aqueous Accumulator, the Redstone Furnace, I did those. We got the Steam Dynamo, which is 2 copper gears. I know I just used, yeah, see, look, right there. Why does it show a different recipe under, I don't know. But it's the same as the other one. Copper, round iron, I did it that way. I didn't do the whole stone gear thing. And then, we've got the redstone transmission coil, which is a silver ingot, and ooh, I lost my, oh, I'm dynamo. And you just put them together, right? You get your dynamo. For the ducts, I actually used a couple of different types of ducts, and one of them is the fluid duct. I actually used this one. There's 2 different kinds. There's the one that takes hardened glass. Hardened glass requires you to crush obsidian and cook it in the induction smelter, but the opaque ones are just a lead ingot in between 2 copper ingots. So I went that route because it's easier, and I don't really care if I can see my stuff. So opaque fluid duct, very easy to make, and that's just used to transport fluid. And then I'm also using the item duct opaque, because item duct not opaque is hardened glass again, so I don't care if I see my stuff. Although it might make it easier to tell if it's working or not, but it's just tin around lead. Pretty easy. And then I also needed some, where are you at in here? Really? It doesn't show up under this? It's got to. There it is. Pneumatic servo, which is just iron ingots, glass, and some redstone. Or you can make it with steel, but I don't have any steel, so I went with the other. Oh, are you done charging yet? Yes. I need to be able to fly. And then I also needed a... Now here's the trick. I discovered this while working on my Direwolf server that I play with some friends on, and I used to use a combination of Buildcraft and thermal expansion to run my quarries, right? Quarries, Buildcraft, Tesseracts are thermal expansion. I love to use the Tesseracts to both power and receive ingredients from the quarries. Well, with the new disconnect between the 2 expansions, sorry, mods, they no longer work the way they used to, and I can't feed a Buildcraft pipe from my quarry into my Tesseract. So I have to run something in between them. So this is what I come up with. Yeah, if I put a chest, I can feed into a chest with my item ducts, which will also allow me to use things like wooden transport pipes to pull out the other side. Now, I am not aware of, there might be, but I am not aware of a thermal expansion version of the um, I am not aware of the I wonder how this works. Oh, because that's something totally different. Remote I/O. Um, but I'm not aware of a replacement for void pipe in thermal expansion. I mean, there might be, but I don't know what it looks like or what it's called. So, I mean, I guess I could make like I don't know what some of these things are. Um, Maybe one of these machines is the replacement, but I don't know. So this is what I went with. Just a chest, wooden transport pipe, void pipe. Underneath of that, I'm going to need something to pump out with. I don't currently have the machinery to do gates. I will get there, though, because I want to try out some of the stuff that uses components from gates. And so it's just a redstone engine, right? Everybody knows how to make a redstone torch, I'm sure. Redstone engine is the simplest of the engines. It's just wood gears, a piston, glass, some wood, right? Simple as pie. Although, making a pie is not simple, so I don't understand that saying. Simple as pie. And then, all right, so now here's where it gets tricky. To figure this out took me a while. Like I said, I filmed for an hour, but I played for about an hour and a half to figure out how to do this. So, item duct, item duct, item duct. This part didn't confuse me. This part was simple enough. All right. So this item duct needs. There's two ways to do this. I'm going to use pneumatic servos. They take a little more material than a redstone torch, but they don't require you to have a redstone torch. And so with the item ducts, you can use your wrench to change the settings on them, and there's a couple different settings. One of them is the direction the stuff is going to flow. So you can see the little blue arrow here, and this is because of Soartex. I don't know if it looks the same without Soartex, but I'm using Soartex. And so the arrow points down, that means it's going that direction. I flip it around, you see a red arrow pointing up, that means it's going to come out. Now, without a redstone signal, this will not output. But if you make some pneumatic servos and you click on the pipe, like right there on the connector, and then you switch to an empty hand, you saw I got a message. Let me bring up my message. The pneumatic servo has been installed. I can right click on this connector and I now have access to a filter and a redstone signal. And so you can see stack sizes are changeable. There's a filter to do blacklist or whitelist, what it accepts, what it doesn't accept, and stuff like that. And so I come over here to redstone control. Right now it's set to high, which means it needs a signal. I'm going to switch it to ignored, and now you can see it is lit up. Without the servo, you cannot do this. Without the servo, you have to supply an external redstone signal. So now it's going to output on its own from the cargo manager, and this cargo manager is going to be receiving saplings and spruce wood. Now, I want to collect some spruce wood. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a barrel here and add another item duct. And so now spruce wood will come out of the manager here, cargo manager, and it will go into the barrel, and it will go into the furnace. But I don't want my furnace to accept spruce saplings. So I have to apply a servo so I can get the filter. Blacklist, no saplings. All right. And then over here, if I just put in a single, this lets me get away without the servo. If I put in oh, that's the wrong kind of wood. Derp-de-dur. Let's try this again. If I put in a single chunk of wood, then no saplings can travel down this pipe to go in this barrel, and they'll automatically go around to the chest. And then the chest will automatically send them out to the void pipe. Now, you can use the saplings for other things, and later I might use the saplings for other things, but right now I don't need them. The biggest change with these updates to thermal expansion and buildcraft for me is that I can no longer use my Steve Cart farms and my forestry machines to make biomass without any outside influence from me, feed that into bioengines, which use the biomass as fuel, which also didn't require any outside influence from me once they got going, to create MJs that I transferred via redstone conduit to tesseracts, which I then ran everything that required MJs from. And since I can't send MJs through tesseracts anymore, I've had to change up the way I do things. And so I am still trying to figure out how to get back to the point where I am not constantly forced to add supplies and things like that to my systems because I like to explore the mods or build. Oh, I thought that was close enough. Or build huge, buildings and things like that. Although I've never gotten to that really on. Oh, I hate when I do that. Uh, Sometimes when I go in my inventory and I move things around, uh, it looks to me like I've placed it, and then when I leave my inventory, it gets flung out on the ground for some reason. I lost a pair of boots the other day for that, which really irritated me. Anyways, uh, but with me having to constantly be working, I don't know how that got in there, working with the supply input on my power systems, I just find it irritating. And I know there's like nuclear reactors and stuff, but I've never used them. And I tend to go for the things that I find the simplest to use that get me what I want and not go crazy with the uh, contraptions. Now, you can see that I've still got some holes in here, and here's the deal. Anything in the middle row doesn't matter. Trees will never go in the middle row, so that stuff can stay there. On the outside row, it does matter, but the cargo manager happens to be right where the tree would go, and so either side of it is not a spot where the cart is going to plant a tree, uh, which is why it's okay I've got these two holes, because it wasn't going to put a tree there anyways. Now, the next thing I got to do is I've got to bring out my charcoal that's going to come out of the furnace and feed it into the rest of my machines. So to do that, I need item duct, uh, item duct, and then we're going to run one more down here because I need it. So now, uh, let's look at the settings outside of the item duct. So we looked at the settings with the servo, and I'm going to add a servo here because I need to change this, and so we'll jump back in here to fix this. But with your wrench, and the wrench is called a crescent hammer. It's the thermal expansion wrench. Thermal expansion, and it's just made with 3 pieces of iron and a piece of tin. And so that gets you the wrench. And you just right click on these, and you saw me right click to change this to red, which is output. But you can also click it a third time and tell it just not to be connected. And so I'm going to do that right now. The other change you're going to see is if you right click on the pipe, not the connector, it changes colors. And so the colors have different settings. So red, and you can see at the top of my screen, means mode dense. It means that if it can go another direction, it will. Green means if it can go that direction, it will, before it goes any other direction. And then there's a third one called round robin, which doesn't always come up. It depends on how you have it connected, which I guess means it goes in each one in order. I need this to output from the redstone furnace. We're going to open the filter. We're going to turn off the signal so it automatically outputs. And so it will run charcoal out from the furnace and then split it up between the cargo manager, the steam dynamo, and this last pipe that I'm going to run down into my base, into this barrel, like so, just so that I have some charcoal. Whoops. I don't know how that happened. I was holding down shift. I need a little charcoal to get this thing started, so I'm pull some charcoal out of the barrel. But that gives me fuel supply down in my base to put in my machines that require a fuel supply, like my Steve's cart thing. And it's also a barrel where I can grab some charcoal to fill up my miner over there, because that's what it's going to be run out of. So I believe that should be everything. I'm going to go ahead and start back up the woodcutter. And so it will go around and start cutting. Another thing that I've noticed with the expansion that has nothing to do with my setup here is that trees, their leaves break up faster now, which is pretty cool. And so I I'm gonna put some. Well, I don't have any wood yet. Let's wait for it to get around here. And yeah, you can see it's working, chopping down the trees. And once it gets around, well, you know, I've got some wood. I don't know what I'm waiting for, right? I've got wood on me. So let me throw some wood in here. If you throw it in a stack, it's going to take the whole stack at once and just send it all to one place. So if I break it up in these little parts, it will send it to the the barrel. And oh, you know what? I think I did. I need a servo on this right here because I have to tell this one not to accept wood. Do not accept wood. Otherwise, it's just gonna send out some of my wood, and I don't want that. Get in there. Right, and you should have. Oh, why don't you have any wood? You're not cooking. I can't see what you're doing. Move along. Right? This is the way I did it last time. Do you have wood in there now? Really? No wood? This is the issue I was having last night with it. Oh, wait, you didn't accept any cargo. Red, storage, unload. Hmm, where's my wood going? Why is it not going into the furnace like it's supposed to? Oh, you're so irritating. Why don't you work the way I want you to? All right, maybe I had that. Maybe I had round robin turned on. Do I not have the top turned on blue? It's blue. Sit to accept. Get away. I need you to do what I want you to do. This is why I spent an hour trying to get this to work, because it works. There it goes. And then all of a sudden it stops working, and I don't know why. All right. So I'm going to put some charcoal in the bottom here to get this started. Uh, and so it's going to kick out charcoal. 13 and none. And this is cooking it up. So 13. Okay, that charcoal maybe went to the barrel in the base. But this is the way it should work. And it did work last night. So I'm hoping it's going to work today. It might take a while to get its kinks all worked out. But this is a setup using thermal expansion pipes mostly instead of the Buildcraft pipes. It's a lot more. It's a lot more compact than the other way, and it didn't require the use of any diamonds because my other way uses diamond pipe to do the filtering, and this just uses the filters that are built in. And now I'm going to run down and grab some charcoal from my barrel. Oh yeah, see, some of it's gone down here. Whoops. Well, I guess that doesn't matter. You can just be empty. And then I can see if any charcoal actually makes it down here again. It should. It did. It did. Trust me, it did. And then I can throw this in here, and you can start working because it only made it down, what, like 5 levels before it ran out of fuel. And since that's the new supply for my stuff, I needed to do a little better than that. All right, one last check here. Oh yeah, see it's up to 19. We got charcoal in there. We got charcoal going in the barrel downstairs. It's working perfectly. All right, so like I said, wood goes into those. It gets pulled out by this. You just have to put in your pneumatic servos to sit your filters. I don't want wood to go in here. I do want saplings to be destroyed. I won't get any saplings until this gets full of saplings. And so once it does, then the saplings will... Do I have saplings on me? I can show you. You can see I throw the saplings in here, and they will get output into the chest, and there they go. And then they'll get destroyed by the void pipe so that I don't have to deal with them right now. And then later, if I want them, I can just, change that up. So, all right, that's my Steve's cart using mostly thermal expansion piping. So, all right, click like if you like, subscribe to be sure and catch the next one, and I will talk to you later.